I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. I believe we're live. So, welcome to this edition of whatever the fuck this is. Watching cooking videos with me. This is the best garlic bread pizza thing ever, according to Sam the Cooking Guy. I'll give a couple of minutes for people to get on in here. All right, let's get into this.
If garlic bread is good, and cheese bread is good, and pizza bread is good, what do you get if you put all three of them together in one?
Your mother's cunt available to everyone.
You get something that's effing delicious. There's no way this is not going to be fantastic. Okay, truth be told, I haven't made it before, but I know it's going to be good.
No, I haven't. It's just CenturyLink has been behaving better than normal, but I'm still going to be leaving them soon.
Because all the components are going to be great. And the garlic part, we're going to confit garlic, C-O-N-F-I-T. You take garlic cloves, you cover them with oil, and you either bake them in the oven for a couple hours or you do them in a little pot for about 45 minutes. We're going to do the little pot for 45 minutes because it's faster. And they become lightly caramelized and squishy and sweet. And we'll mix that with some butter. And then we're going to do the cheese thing. And we're going to make a no-cook sauce. And there's going to be pepperonis involved in crispy cutting baguette-y things in the air fryer, no less. Air fryer people, we're here for you. We get going with the confit garlic. It sounds
I do actually need to probably buy an air fryer at some point.
fancy. It's not. Then the sauce, and then we're home free. And then we can yell, ollie ollie oxen free. Which, by the way, we just had a big conversation about. Is the term ollie ollie oxen free used when you're playing hide and seek and you're hidden and you're yelling to tell the seekers to come find you that you're in your spot? Or do you use it after? When do you use it after? Or who do?
If the seeker can't find
Oh, yes. Or if the seeker can't find the hidden people, does the seeker yell ollie ollie oxen free? And then they come out. We don't know. We can't
We're asking
remember.
the hard questions here on Sam the Cooking Guy.
Let us know in the comments. All right, here we go. Process is very simple. This is 3 heads of garlic, and I've cut the little ass end off, the little brown thing, because I don't like it. These we dump into our pot. Simple. This is 2 ingredients. That's one. And the second one is olive oil that we want enough to cover this. And that should be just like that. Now we turn the heat on. You're not going to see anything because it's going to take a bit. We want to get this to a little simmer, then turn it down low and just leave it alone for 45 minutes. That's it. And at the end of 45 minutes, you're going to see what these are going to look like, and they're going to be glorious. So you see little bubbles like this. We're going to turn it down. We don't want to boil this. I don't really even want to simmer it. I just want it on low. Low, low, low. All right? Now let me put this off to the side, and we'll get on with our no-cook sauce. This is 15 ounces of whole peeled tomatoes. They go in our little bowl. You know the kind we like. Now you got to mash them up.
Sam Marzano's.
And the best way to do that is with a glove on your hand. But
No, best way to do it is a food processor. But then again, I like my pizza sauce smooth.
Be careful.
Look for excuses to use your hands.
I do like to use my hands. I like to play with my food. But you have to be careful because they're very explosive. See? Just as I didn't do that on purpose. I try and break them up like under the surface if you can.
Wait, by the way, you just saying I like to play with my food set parents back across the world.
Isn't playing with your food a good
Ages.
thing?
No, that's aren't parents always telling the kids not to play
Oh,
with
don't
their
play
food?
with your food.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. I might have done that wrong. All right, so keep it a little bit chunky. That's always good. And now we add a couple things. We're gonna
Well, this is where me and him differ. I like my sauce smooth, so I put San Marzanos in the blender.
add a good pinch of BFF. Got to season. Got to. Add a little Italian herb seasoning. Could be plain oregano if
No,
that's
nothing
all you
major
had.
wrong
Could be
there.
plain basil if that's all you had. Little red pepper flake, always good. A splash of balsamic vinegar,
All
just
right.
for a little acid. Little garlic paste. And I know
Nothing really different from my pizza sauce recipe that I use. I puree my sauce, so it's not really an issue. It's all smooth. Smooth. Again, that's just personal preference.
No, we're dealing with confit garlic in that little pot, but come on. Last
Yeah,
thing in,
I heard about TYT Power Falcon.
tablespoon of nice olive
I'm not here to discuss politics. I'm here to talk about cooking.
oil, and we will mix. If you wanted to put this in a pot and let it simmer, you could do it, but I don't think it's necessary for this. Okay, we're set until the garlic is ready. And after our time, look what we have. Look how gorgeous they are. I took my eye off it a little bit. It got a little more color than I originally planned for. But here's how you know if it's ready. Take one of them. If you can squish it like that. Oh, it's ready. So let's do this. We'll trade places. And now we take just the garlic out. Leave the oil and put the
Why wouldn't you just use a strainer? I don't know.
oil
Whatever.
in something.
It's
You'll
his
be able to use
video.
it for, God, everything. Roasted garlic oil, imagine. Sauteing some mushrooms in this for a pasta, vegetables, a little for your morning eggs. Store it in the fridge, good for a few weeks. Right now we're just concentrating
he's
on
from
the garlic
Canada,
cloves, and when they're all
actually.
out, we're just gonna start to mash them lightly. Should have done this in a mortar and pestle, actually. And a quick presto changeo. In we go, and this we can mix. Oh, damn. All right, butter time. We're gonna add a stick of butter to this. Little pinch of salt and pepper. Glory
not a
be,
stick
look
of
what
butter,
we made.
but
Beautiful
whatever.
roasted garlic butter. Confit garlic butter, whatever you want to call it. Now we can get our little baguettes and begin this process. Here's a little guy. It's like a foot long. We'll just cut like this. Here's what we do. We get a little spreader and we get our confit garlic butter and we go to town. And you kind of want like a nice amount. You're definitely not going to use all of it. I mean, if you did, that would be a crazy thing. But this goes back into your fridge for use in all kinds of things. Back to that mushroom sauteing thing. Imagine melting some of this butter in a pan, then adding mushrooms. God, I just love the chunks of it. I can't believe the wind here. I don't know what's happening to San Diego's weather. Okay, when this guy's
Jesus,
good,
how much
I'm
fucking butter are you
comfortable
gonna add
with
to that, my
butter,
dude?
Garlic, deliciousness. Put them on our little tray and throw them in the air fryer. Jesus God, we're at like 380. I've been preheating it. In we go. I'm gonna give it about 2 to 3 minutes just to start getting it a little crispy and getting the butter melted before we put anything else on. And check this out. Whoa, goodness gracious. Let me grab that and pull it out. Okay, I'm going to admit that you could, if you wanted, stop right here. It's not quite crispy enough, but you could stop right here and it'd be fantastic. But wait, because we're not going to. Next up is the sauce. You remember our little no-cook
Letitia
sauce?
James
I've
could
strained
sew
it a
'em.
bit because I don't want it too wet.
Or
But
anything
I
like
made it
that.
that way because this is not the only application for it. If you want it in pasta, you're going to want a little bit more moisture. But this chunkiness, strained
we'll
a bit,
see.
is gorgeous. I'm going to give this just a little push around. Don't need to inundate.
See, and this is why I don't like chunky sauce, because I'd want to pick it up and be able to spread it over everything evenly.
I want to make sure that everybody's getting some of everything in each bite. I'm really happy right now. I'm really happy. Next up is your cheese. Use anything you want. Parmesan, mozzarella. It's all good. This happens to be one of those, just a bag one, but that Italian blend. Perfect for this. There's provolone, there's Parmesan, there's, I don't know what else. Who knows? There's no reinventing the wheel here. You don't have to go crazy on the cheese component. All right, I'm gonna revisit that little Italian herb blend that I had earlier.
Okay, that's
Again, it's
good.
pepperoni, but I'm gonna do one thing first. I'm gonna pop these back in for about a minute, let the cheese melt a bit, then throw the pepperonis on. Like
Why?
this and like this. About a minute and a half. And there we are. Wow. We're all so close, fellas. We're so close. Let me take the carrot, now our pepperoni. Put them right down the middle. I love it. All right, and in we go. Okay, fellas, 3 minutes, and we're back. And voila, look at this. Look at the way she cupped. That's the prettiest little thing I've ever seen. But it ain't just about looks, because as you know, there's layers of amazing flavor in this. All right, I'm gonna take these guys off. Oh. The fat in the cups is the best thing ever. I'm only giving it one thing, completely optional, but I would. A little extra Parmesan.
All right,
This is
I
gonna
agree with
melt
that.
right into the, look at it. It goes into the cups and it melts right away. There you go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your, what do we call this? Confit garlic bread cheese.
I don't know what the fuck to call it. All I know is I want to eat it.
Pepperoni. Confit garlic cheese pepperoni bread. Or something like that. I couldn't ask for that to have come out any more pretty. Well,
Well, I'm stealing that.
look what we have done here. See this? Do you know what that is? That's the garlic confit butter grease. I'm gonna cut one perfect bite right there. Listen for the crunch, and there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what this is all about. Holy f***. Isn't it gorgeous?
Although I will say you probably will have diarrhea for 2 weeks after eating that.
Look at the way the little pepperoni cup perches there. It's like a pepperoni bowl. And what's inside the bowl? Ready? Wait for it. It's the grease. Just a little drop. Okay, down the hatch. It's outrageous. It's so good, it's wrong. And even with all that garlic in there, the garlic gets sweeter as it roasts in the oil. This is heaven. It's not part of my diet. I'm not on a diet. It's not part of my general regimen, but fuck it. Recipes below. We want you to make it. Let us know what you think. If you have a request for something you want us to make, just say so in the comments.
Although the only thing I would do is I'd puree my my tomatoes, but that's just one of those stubborn, fast rules that I stick by. All right, next is this. It's a short, so this is a fried chicken bites and mac wrap from Chickies in New York City.
With their special sauce, in goes mac and cheese, 5 boneless fried chicken bites, grilled peppers and onions, another drizzle of that special sauce, and some lettuce.
All right, you know, so many restaurants have special sauce. Is it just boogers and cum from the chef?
It gets wrapped up and sliced in half. This is the fried chicken mac and cheese wrap from Chickies in Queens. Dip it in their Nashville sauce and have yourself a time.
You know, I'm sure that's delicious, but that looks like shit.
Who's hungry? A grilled tortilla.
Like I said, I'm sure that's delicious, but that looks like dog shit. All right, here we come to one of my more... I guess he's more of a nemesis than anything else, but I'm curious how he's going to pull this off. This is the carbonara pizza with Vincenzo's plate.
Pizza carbonara? Are you out of your mind? Yeah.
Okay, considering you bitch and complain every time anyone does anything outside of the traditional carbonara with pasta, The fact that you made this is yes. Are you... What, did you have a change of heart or something?
This, it's a pizza with carbonara sauce on top and guanciale. You wanna learn how to make it? Watch this video.
I'd use guanciale. I'll have to use pancetta because guanciale is a little hard to come by in Minnesota. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure that thing's fucking delicious. I'm not doubting this guy's skill. My issue with this guy is his utter adherence to, for lack of a better term, tradition. But then he just pissed all over it by making carbonara pizza.
To make carbonara pizza, we need guanciale. I'm using 50.
All right, like I said, if you can get guanciale, use it. In America, it's a little hard to come by, and you might pay through the nose for it. That's all I'm saying. Pancetta is perfectly acceptable to use as a substitute, so is bacon.
50 grams of guanciale, 5 tablespoons of pecorino cheese. You can use more, you can use less. 3 eggs, and I use free range. A nice fior di latte mozzarella that we want to cut into cubes.
That would be fresh mozzarella for anyone who doesn't know. You can make the mozzarella yourself, but you might have to know a farmer. I can't remember.
Cubes. Pepper, extra virgin olive oil, and you need pizza dough. If you want to learn how to make my pizza dough, this is the recipe up here.
All right, I'll make. You know what? I will try your pizza. I'm comfortable with my pizza dough, but tell you what, I've never been afraid to try new things.
It's a recipe for beginners, and you will be fine. Before we start preparing anything, we need to turn the oven on. So if you're using a domestic oven, put it at the
Because my pizza dough is a pretty wet pizza dough. I don't use a dry pizza dough. That's why mine's a little bit different. That's why I can use a 16 ouncer and it's still fairly light.
maximum temperature, and I hope you have a stone, pizza stone. Otherwise, use baking paper. If you're using a gas oven like me,
because I use instant yeast and cold water. I don't actually use anything heated.
I want to bring it up to 400 Celsius. Same if you have a wood fire oven.
Why don't you make my pizza dough and then call it wrong?
The first thing we need to do is to cook the guanciale, okay? You can replace guanciale with pancetta if you want. Now, you need 50 grams of guanciale.
Or you can replace it with bacon. Again, I'm speaking to somebody who lives in America. We don't have fucking pancetta at Walgreens.
Guanciale without the skin, okay? So I'm gonna remove the skin, which is about 30 grams, and the rest is what we use. And see the guanciale, it's got a nice fat, meat, fat again. So the top part will become nice and crispy. These will become nice and crispy as well. And these will also.
I did.
This will become oil, and the rest will become crispy. See the flavors here of the guanciale? The flavors are there.
Because believe it or not, on its own, bacon is still superior to all these products.
Such an important ingredient. If you use bacon, you're not gonna get the same taste that you get from the guanciale.
Yeah, for this application only.
So I'm showing you the ingredients to make one pizza. If you wanna make 2 pizzas, you need to double it. Here we have a nice warm saucepan, and we're gonna add the guanciale. Now the guanciale fat is going to turn into oil. That's the reason why we're not using extra virgin olive oil. If you want to add the extra flavor, you can add extra virgin olive oil. Now I'm cooking this on a medium-low heat, low, be gentle, and it's gonna take a few minutes for this to be ready, okay? We want the guanciale to be crunchy, crispy. It should be about 5 minutes, okay? As you can see, it cooks pretty fast. we're not cooking the guanciale in the oven, okay? The guanciale will be the final touch to the pizza, so make sure you cook it well now. And here we have it, the crispy guanciale, the pig cheek. It's ready to be served.
Save the oil. Or save the fat.
What do we do with the oil? We keep the oil because we're gonna add the oil in the eggs. A very important step is the mozzarella. This is a mozzarella that it came all the way from Naples, guys. All the way from Naples. So we're talking about quality here, okay? Do not use shredded mozzarella, please. Shredded mozzarella does not belong to a pizza or to any top quality food.
Fuck you. I'll use whatever I want.
Okay? In my house, you will never see shredded mozzarella. It's plastic food that I don't serve to my guests or to my family. You can cut the mozzarella.
You're right, but I don't use this mozzarella usually in my pizzas either.
You like? Look at the milk in there. See the milk? Look at the milk in there. Look. Is that enough? Yeah, probably enough. Let's put some more. Want to be generous with the mozzarella. And here we go. Perfect mozzarella for pizza. This is where the magic begins. Let's make the carbonara sauce. Come on. We want to separate. We want two.
Now, this is what I'm curious about. What is he going to use to make this sauce?
Egg yolks. What do you do with the white? Well, you can make amaretti biscuits, and I have the recipe on my YouTube channel. Here's the yolk. And here we have the entire egg. Here we go. Broom. Let's beat the eggs. Let's put a generous amount of pepper. Quickly mix.
That's not exactly a generous amount of pepper, but, you know, I like pepper.
Now what we want to do, we want to be very generous with the cheese. What I want to do here...
Well, you know, one of your fucking hero is up on the docket tonight. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Do I go after... Which one? Jake's latest video against me, or Jake's latest cooking attempt? And now we start the poll. And you have until the end of this video to cast your votes.
I want to make a nice thick cream, egg cream, okay? It needs to be thicker than the normal carbonara, because otherwise, when you put it on the pizza, it will go everywhere. Instead, we want this to be thicker. We want to...
Well, normally the egg shit that I put on carbonara is pretty thick.
Now we want to add the oil from the guanciale.
Okay, make sure it's cooled sufficiently, otherwise you're just gonna instantly fry the eggs.
Just in there. Beautiful. Mix. Give the extra flavors. Also helps to
Alright, looks like that was fine. Okay, cool, whatever.
melt the pecorino. See how it is runny? We don't want this to be runny. We want this to be thicker, okay? So let's put more pecorino.
Yes, thicker.
Fantastic. I think we're almost there.
Wonderful.
Guys, you know that when you're having this pizza, you're gonna have a bomb of happiness, okay? So please, don't be scared of the cheese, because this is a cheesy, crazy pizza. See the density, see the consistency? See that? This is fantastic. This is what we want. So let's gonna put now the dough on a wooden board. What I like to do, I put flour on it. Put flour. Put the dough on the flour. This is very easy, okay? What we do now is very easy. We just press, and then we turn, and again we press. We don't want to touch the edges because we want the gas to go on the edges, okay? If you make my dough, you will be able to do this easy process on your pizza, okay? Let's remove the flour. We don't want all this flour. The pizza should be stretching so easily by now, okay? Yeah, let's remove the flour. Okay, no more flour. Okay, and now it's time to work on the pizza, okay? The first thing I want to do on this pizza is this. I want to put extra virgin olive oil first on the edges, just like that, and then in the middle. Second,
Okay, I don't know exactly how big this pizza is, but mine is usually about 16 to 18 inches.
I want to put the pecorino in the middle, just like this. Nice amount of pecorino. Third, we're going to put the mozzarella in the middle, okay? Not too much. This is just the first batch of mozzarella, okay? First batch.
Alright, and blah blah blah, and he adds the sauce.
Kind of safe, okay? You're not going to be in danger.
While
The eggs won't.
partially cooked, and then
Oh, guys, the pizza is cooking. The pizza
Dude, you need to turn the pizza.
is cooking, ladies and gentlemen. The edges are still cooking, still growing. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the carbonara pizza, it's ready to be enjoyed. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the carbonara pizza. Oh,
You know, I hate to say it, but Vincenzo, this is the first thing you've made that looks like dog shit. I guarantee you I can do it better. And looks like the voting is done, and the voting is Jake's latest video against me. But before we get into that, I have to pee, and I will be right back. And I need another beer, and I need somebody to kill that annoying squirrel that is plotting against me. And now we fight.
My God, how would you even find this guy? Wikitubia. I mean, okay. So you can't actually. Fuck it, I don't care. Okay, well, Sean Head's husband's YouTube channel is unfindable.
I don't think Shuan Head is married. She could be. As far as I know, she's not married. Oh, but apparently, according to Wikipedia, she got married in 2023. She's bisexual and married her husband in 2023. Good for her. I don't care what June does.
Search by
Again,
lowest viewership. Fucking shrew.
Like I said, I was a fan of Shuan Heads. I had friendly interactions with her. I wouldn't go so far as to say we were friends. But we did have some friendly interactions back and forth. And then she decided to drink the Bernie Sanders Kool-Aid. And I cast her off into the eternal order of the undying cunts.
All right, let's watch some gloopus. Some gloopus. Is stream good for you guys, by the way? Why am I seeing a weird one? Why am I seeing a weird? Yeah, it looks fine. Looks fine to me. All right. Some gloop.
Actually,
there it goes.
she might, because I was one of the first people that actually fought back against her on Twitter.
Here, just throw some pizza dough around.
Trust me.
I have.
Implicitly.
Is this pretty quiet, man? All right. I guess I'll turn you up. Implicitly, I trust you.
Large mushroom pepperoni with extra onions and a Michelob, please.
Mushroom, pepperoni, and onions with a Michelob. Sounds good.
Great choice. And you, sir?
Like that too.
Two of the same exact pizza? But you need to eat two pizza? Yeah, sharing pizza? God damn it, Captain Kirk. Just get one pizza and share it, right?
Well, only one pizza. Okay, let's make Dr. Jillian's pizza.
He starts with a fucking yawn in post? How are you yawning when you make... He's not showing the dough anymore.
Because I just really wanted to fuck with you. That's why I left it in. I just really wanted to fuck with you.
More. He's not showing the process. He's just already bashed it down into the fucking pan. This is the video. Oh my god.
Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
How is anyone supposed to be interested in this video, David?
All right. As you can see here, I've got a dough thing ready to go. By the way, I will link a video.
Hey, Jake, what do you think about anti-woke people freaking out Helldivers community manager being trans? Joel? Joel is trans? Or somebody else?
What the hell is Helldivers?
That's based as fuck. Helldivers community, the Helldivers team in general has been pretty dope. That's the game master? Oh, okay. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, obviously anti-woke people can eat dicks.
In which I show how to make said dough.
Anti-woke. Dude, we don't even call ourselves woke or anything. That's such a thing that they do. Hey, you guys woke? Fucking nobody talks like that.
Yeah, and this is why you're losing. You think this is the way people should actually, think 24/7.
They're such freaks, man.
Like, you think it's normal to let your girlfriend suck another man's dick.
What's up, nerds? You're a nerd.
And said pizza sauce, I just Do I have?
They still misunderstand Starship Troopers, and it's been 20 years.
I hope you have a
Tabby Sue!
day.
6 months, dude. Since you drug me here over from YouTube. Fuck yeah. We get YouTube people, converts all the time. It's been great. I'm glad that you're here. Thanks so much for subscribing. Are you remotely a nerd? You're cool? Ha!
Have to really keep making the same pizza sauce over and over again in every video. Anyway, link in the description below. Basically, you want to stretch the...
Dude, he sounds absolutely fucked up. Dr. Randy, 64 months. Incredible. That is some wet-ass sauce.
dough to the ends of the pan, and then spread a good, healthy amount of sauce on the dough.
I can't watch him do this.
And then you want...
And so every time he puts the cheese on top,
And your fucking girlfriend's pussy still isn't satisfied.
put the cheese underneath. This just slides around now. There's nothing to adhere toppings to the bread if it's just sauce, no cheese, and then...
God, you stupid motherfucker. The cheese melts on top, adhering everything to everywhere. Do you understand, you simple but very dull boy?
And toppings. I hate this every time.
Want to add a nice healthy layer of pepperonis. And then you want to
And
add
dude, your dough is receding. You didn't let it sit in there.
a nice little layer. No, I have to work quick with my dough or it will start to rise again. Yeah, I have to actually work quick with my dough. And again, I have yet to hear you actually offer any sort of actual critique. A lot of just useless, stupid, bullshit insults, but not really a whole lot coming in the form of critique. Sorry, me thinks you actually have nothing.
This means it's not ready, by the way. If it starts to pull away from the edges and starts to, like the gluten starts to pull it in.
Of mushrooms. And then you want to add some diced onions. Okay, and then we're going to add
Okay, you're going to put the... Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. So now the mushrooms aren't going to cook. Also, raw mushrooms on pizza is not usually my bag. It can work sometimes, but, you know.
Had my oven at 550.
I fuck with
they
mushrooms
got
big time,
done.
but they get dry and weird.
Mozzarella cheese on top.
I think we could saute mushrooms and then put them on pizza, personally. I also like...
But then after the 14-minute mark, they'd either be burnt or dry as hell. Again, if it's any consolation, I'm not the biggest fan of mushrooms on pizza either. But if you want them to have any sort of texture, they have to go on raw.
Canned mushrooms on pizza, which is interesting. I don't usually like canned mushrooms. I like canned mushrooms on pizza and deep fried.
Of that, then we're going to pop this son of a bitch.
I don't like just dry mushrooms on pizza, though. Not usually, at least. It's going to have like more stuff.
Into a 550-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes.
That's such a long time. The cheese is going to be way overcooked. Called toppings, not bottomings, right? Mushrooms taste like a fart. There's so many different mushrooms.
This is how and why I know if we ever get the chance to face each other in a live cooking challenge, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Mushrooms. They can't all taste like farts.
Or until the cheese is nice and bubbly and
How isn't it nice and bubbly at 550 in like 3 minutes?
Oh my God, because a normal pizza oven, you stupid son of a bitch, runs at about 800 to 1,000 degrees. That's why mine takes so long.
Cooked pizza so many times, not like this. Oh my God. I have a pizza peel and a pizza steel and, you know, all the good stuff. It shouldn't take that long.
All cooked, and the edges are a nice golden brown.
And counters at 5? Holy shit.
And through the magic
That's another one?
cooking show edit.
Does this look good to anybody? Like, what? It looks like a fucking puck. This...
Actually, it was delicious. And maybe I held it in there 30 seconds too long, but no. It's fine. Again, it beat whatever your pizza's sorry ass is. Just not for nothing, Jake. And all of your little sycophants can go suck that. And remember, this is Dave's Cooking Show. I don't have to be as cordial and nice and obliging to the free speech principle that I do on Lord of Patriarchy. All right. Well, Cooking with Jack has decided to do some things again. And before we entertain that, we're going to put up another poll. All right, never mind.
You're watching the Cooking with Jack show.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Cooking with Jack show. Jack Scalfani here. I'm standing right next.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, crap. I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Next to our little pot of fermenting beer. We're in the middle of about 2 weeks. Then I'll be showing you guys how we did this. That's coming later. Right now we're doing this stupid video. Trust me, when I saw it, I'm like, this looks really stupid. I watched them taste it. Didn't look like they really enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, I got a tap for human decency reasons. Jack, get better, man. All right, this is filet of fish at home.
A filet of fish sandwich was made with a piece of cod, but nowadays pollock, breaded and deep fried, along with tartar sauce, American cheese, and a soft steamed bun. I've heard people say it's McDonald's best sandwich. I say no, but as the summer approaches, a homemade fried fish sandwich is alright by me. Sends me back to those summer vacations. Now I know a lot of people love the McDonald's filet of fish, and I'm not here to yuck your yum. There's a reason why I have never and will never eat a filet of fish at McDonald's, and it's not just because I think the concept of fast food fish is gross. There is another good reason, but more on that later. So first let's make the tartar sauce. Now tartar sauce starts with mayo, and to make a good one that's the right consistency, we're going to make homemade mayo first. Now first we're gonna add 1 egg, and then we're gonna throw in a whole bunch of acidity. Take a lemon, we'll squeeze it half now and then adjust the acidity later if needed. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of vinegar. You can just use lemon juice, but I like to use both. With fried fish, bright acidity goes really well, which is why fish is usually paired with lemon. A hefty tablespoon of Dijon mustard. About a teaspoon of dried onion. This is more for the tartar sauce than for the mayo. Then I'm gonna add about a half cup of oil to start. Salt, pepper. Insert the immersion blender. Now mayo is an emulsion of oil and other water-based ingredients like egg, vinegar, lemon juice. And since I'm making a tartar sauce, that balance is out of whack, so my mayo's a little thin. To fix it, I'm going to add 1 additional egg, turn the blender.
Now, look, I know how to make mayonnaise from scratch. I generally don't, because while I will admit homemade mayonnaise, fresh made mayonnaise is way thicker, way creamier, and way more flavorful, and way better than anything Hellmann's could dig up. You have to use that entire son of a bitch in 3 days. Otherwise, it'll give you food poisoning that'll send you to the hospital.
On and then slowly start to stream in more oil until the mixture thickens. And I want a thick mayo. It's gonna hold to this fried fish. Ended up with about 2 eggs and about a cup of oil. That's the right consistency. So
like I said, this mayonnaise is far superior to anything on the shelf. The problem is you have 3 days to use that, or you will be in the hospital for food poisoning.
To that, I'm gonna take some dried parsley. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon. For tartar sauce, we use a dill relish, not a sweet relish, and then some capers. A little bit of sugar, and mix that all up until it's very well combined and looks and tastes like tartar sauce. Thick, acidic, I get that relish flavor, it's seasoned.
Food poisoning is generally not a big deal, but it can be.
It's a beautiful tartar sauce. We can let this sit in the refrigerator until we're ready to use it. Now here, as you can see, I have 4 portioned pieces of fish for 4 fish sandwiches. And they've been salted and hanging out in the fridge. And all of this was done a few hours earlier. Now here I have about a 12-ounce piece of cod, about a half a side of cod. And I'm gonna use one of the burger buns and try and cut 2 equal pieces that'll fit the bun. Now originally McDonald's used cod, which is what I have here. Now they use sustainably sourced Alaskan pollock, which we'll discuss in a minute. This piece of cod can turn into 4 fish sandwiches. And generally what people do is they'll turn this and they'll fry this whole piece into a little square and put it onto a sandwich. But the proportion of breading to fish to bread in the sandwich just gets thrown way off. So just like some people find the smash burger to be a nicer eating experience than like a big steak burger, we're gonna treat this the same way. So what I'm gonna do is just cut this piece of fish in 2 equal halves. You see how thick that is? Just like a chicken cutlet, I'm going to slice it in half to give me 4 thin patties of cod. Just carefully run your knife through the center of it to make sure you don't tear it where the fishmonger has deboned the fish. Then you want to lightly season the fish on both sides, place them on a wire rack, and then we're gonna let these chill in the fridge uncovered until that salt sort of pulls the moisture out, the fish reabsorbs that moisture, and then the surface has dried out. Maybe like an hour or 2. Now it's about 2 hours later. You can see they're nice and dried. That salt has absorbed, and it's gonna just give a little bit more flavor, seasoning, and better texture to the fish when it's cooked. And now we can talk about the main reason why I'll never eat a filet of fish at McDonald's. And I will add a caveat. McDonald's claims that their fish is sustainably sourced. But when it comes to the food industry, my trust has been broken too many times to take that in blind faith. In the fishing industry, bycatch refers to...
Yeah, I really don't give a shit about if it's sustainable or not. I found it much easier to live life when you don't give a fuck.
The unintentional capture of fish or other marine species by large trawlers. Trawlers are huge fishing boats that can capture hundreds of huge fish at a time. And while there is technology that they use to help limit bycatch, do you really think a ship this big has much control over any of that when casting such a wide net to satisfy the hundreds of thousands of pounds of fish McDonald's needs for its fillet of fish? So while I always like to shop locally in general, I'm much more strict when it comes to fish than I am at any other protein. And I choose to either shop at farmers markets when they're available or my local fish market, who I know every day gets fresh fish off the coast of Montauk. And yes, besides that, the concept of fast food fish is disgusting. And if you don't believe me, take it from this ex-McDonald's employee that can promise you the fillet of fish is not fresh by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're cool with all that, you do you, but I'm gonna do me and make a fillet of fish at home like a sane person. Now, I'm not denying McDonald's claims, I'm just saying I'm not eating it. So now we need to handle our dredging and breading.
I don't give a flying fuck about sustainability. I don't give a flying fuck about this, that. I just want my shit.
Bowl, we're making the dredge, and for that I'm just going with about half cup of all-purpose flour. In this bowl we're making the batter, so I'm gonna go with half cup of flour and then a quarter cup of rice flour. A little bit of parsley to both, maybe a teaspoon, a little bit of dried oregano, about the same amount, some paprika, and then some celery seed, which just goes really well with fish. Maybe a teaspoon or two. And then if you like a little bit of heat, a little bit of cayenne. Salt, black pepper. Get that nice and mixed up? Get that nice and mixed up. To this, gonna add 1 egg. A little mustard for flavor. And then about 3/4 of a cup of seltzer water. Add in that seltzer water, and we just wanna combine it really well and then assess the consistency. I don't want it too thick. I want it to kind of run off the whisk once it's completely mixed, but still be thick enough that it coats the piece of fish. Now in this plate, we're going straight.
All right, that almost seems too thin, but you do you, boy.
Panko. And I'm just gonna season it with some paprika for color, a little bit of cayenne. But don't go crazy with the paprika, it can burn. Then all we have to do is take our piece of fish, drop it into the flour dredge, make sure it gets well coated in the flour dredge, and then dust off the excess. Then into the batter. We just wanna dip it to coat it completely, pull it out of the batter, allow the excess batter to drain off, and then we can add it into the panko breadcrumbs. And just like we would chicken cutlets, we wanna make sure that we scoop up some of the breadcrumbs off the side, sprinkle it all on top, get it completely coated, and with our hands, sort of press that breading into the fish. Give it a flip, sprinkle more breadcrumbs on top, and repeat until the fish is completely coated in the breadcrumbs and you see no moist spots present. You want the fish completely dried, covered in breadcrumbs. Now I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator for, 15 minutes just for them to kind of seize up and that breading to adhere. And while those chill out and I reset, gives me a minute to talk about our sponsor today, BetterHelp. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and much less intimidating for many people. I've been to in-person therapy, and if you're like me, you know it can be really annoying. Appointments are always late, you're waiting in a waiting room, feeling just kind of exposed to the world. But with BetterHelp, you can talk to your therapist through your choice of video call, phone call.
Here's a thought. If you're a man, you shouldn't need therapy. Be a man.
Or you can even send them messages throughout the day as things come up, even if you don't have an appointment scheduled. It's a service that fits your schedule no matter how busy you are. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network based on your needs, preferences, and location, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise that may not be available in your location. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire that will ask you questions about what challenges you're going through and what kind of therapist you'd like. And then BetterHelp will match you with a therapist in most cases within 48 hours. And then you can schedule a therapy session at a time.
I can't believe I'm going to engage in this childish shit, but if any of you had fathers, you would have understood what I said just now. Men don't need therapy.
Time that's convenient for you. And if you don't love your therapist, you can request a new therapist at any time at no additional cost. So if you want to join the over 4 million people who have used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life, BetterHelp is going to give my audience 10% off their first month when you use the link in the description, or you go to betterhelp.com/notanothercookingshow. Now let's get back into the recipe. Now we're ready to cook. We've got our fish, our tartar sauce, we've got some American cheese, and then we've got our bun. And these are the ones I like the most for this, for steaming, this kind of sandwich. I know it's super cool to make your own buns, but like, it's a fast food sandwich. What are we doing? And now the secret is a steamed bun. So I'm gonna take 3 of these buns out. I'm gonna take a Ziploc bag and a little paper towel that I'm just gonna fold into like a little humidifier, something like that, and then I'm gonna get it wet. It's nice and moist. I'm gonna stick that into the corner, and then I'm just gonna place my rolls in it. I'm gonna close it about 90% of the way. I'm gonna pop that into the microwave. 30 seconds before I'm done, I'm gonna hit it for 30 seconds. It's gonna steam those buns real nice. Now we just need to get a pot on high heat. And I like to use this.
But aren't the fillet of fish buns toasted? It's been a very long time since I've had a fillet of fish. Aren't they toasted?
3-quart saucier. It's good for frying. It's got high walls. It's not too wide for frying small batches. Fill it up with about 1 inch of oil. And while it comes up to temp, prep the cheese because I'm going to place it on the fish as soon as it comes out of the oil. And once it's at about 360 degrees, we can go ahead and drop in our fish fillet. I'm going to make sure I circulate the oil a bit so it browns evenly across the fish. And I'm going to flip it every 30 seconds or so. Try and regulate the temperature to maintain it at 360. I really just want to get a nice golden brown across the entire surface of the fish. Any pale spots, I'll make sure I splash some hot oil onto. And since the fish is so thin, once it's golden brown all across the breading, the fish will be perfectly cooked. No more than 2 or 3 minutes. Get that out of the oil. Let it drain on a wire rack. I like to hit it with some of this citric acid powder for a little bit of acidity, but that's optional, and a little bit of salt, and then immediately with the American cheese to allow that heat to melt it. And then just repeat that same process with the rest of the fish. I left 1 in the refrigerator, just so you know that you can have this hang out. Maybe tomorrow for lunch, you got a fish sandwich ready to go. You just need to heat up some oil. Once all the fish is fried and the cheese is placed on top, we can turn the microwave on for 30 seconds to steam those buns. And after 30 seconds, we can get them out of the microwave and look at all that steam.
Again, I'm not saying that's not a good technique, but are these buns not supposed to be toasted?
The buns are perfectly steamed, which is an iconic characteristic of this sandwich. To the bottom of each bun, I'm gonna place $1.
Again, it's been forever and a day since I've had a fillet of fish. Now part of me wants to go to McDonald's tomorrow and get one.
Of the tartar sauce. Then I'm gonna place a fish fillet on each one. On top of each fish fillet, another healthy dollop of the tartar sauce, and then close the sandwiches up. And I've seen a fish fillet at McDonald's. You cannot tell me that this does not look 1,000 times better while
Oh, it looks 1,000 times better. I don't know how authentic, but 1,000 times better. Now the problem there, motherfucker.
still looking like a fish fillet from McDonald's. Personally, this scratches the itch for me. The fish is moist.
All right. Next up, homemade pizza. That was it?
When a recipe tells...
Okay. I guess we'll go to Sam the Cooking Guy then.
Well, kids, not only are we making a viewer recipe, but it's also a regional one, and boy, we think we're gonna love it. What we're making is something called the St. Louis Slinger, and it comes to us courtesy.
I've never heard of this, but all right. Do it, and I will steal it and make it better.
See a viewer at brain_STL6337. I just put it together. STL must be St. Louis. Brain, it lives in St. Louis, and sent this, and he wrote, Sam, make this the St. Louis Slinger. In general, it's 2 eggs, hash browns, and a ground beef patty, all covered with chili con carne, cheese.
Chili con carne.
What did I say?
Con carne.
All covered with chili con
Carne.
carne, cheese.
What is wrong?
Wait, con carne.
Con.
Oh, carne.
It's not con, it's con. Con carne.
I'm Canadian.
I've never.
Well, poor.
Well, they pronounce everything wrong, so for all I know, my parents stole me from Canada.
Brain, now I've
You're Mr.
ruined his
It's-
open.
You're Mr. It's Tijuana, not Tijuana. And
It
by
is
the way,
Tijuana.
is it Brian?
Nope, it's definitely brain.
You sure it's brain?
It's brain. I can read, I can't pronounce. That seems to be a problem. My apologies to anybody who's offended by my mispronunciation of chili con carne. Is that better?
There you go.
I'm just waiting to hear you say a boot.
Like Giada de Laurentiis.
It's better than con carne.
Oh my God. On today's Giada in the Kitchen, I'm gonna make the most amazing lasagna buona frittata. The Italian accent only comes out when she says Italian words. I don't get that. Let me recap. Brain says this is 2 eggs, hash browns, and a ground beef patty, all covered with chili con carne, cheese, and onions. And he goes, it's best served at 2 a.m. at a diner after a good night of drinking. Brain, this could not be more up our alley. Couldn't be. So we have to make a hash brown. We'll do that from scratch. We're gonna make our own patty, grind our own beef. But because I generally pull out my grinder, it occurred to me, not everybody has a grinder, but a lot more people might have a food processor. I'm gonna show you how you can use a food processor to grind your own beef.
Oh, you absolutely can, by the way.
Yeah, how about that? How about that? And then there's eggs and the con carne that I'm not gonna make. I got it in a can. That's okay. Little cheat is good. And then onions and cheese, eggs. Ooh. I want to get drunk just thinking about how good this would be late night food. Let's prep our hash brown. We move into the beef and then,
No, the first thing you should do is crack a beer. Cook it while you're drinking, and when you're drunk, you eat it.
That's a bowl of water, this is a potato, and that's a box grater. Start by grating the potato into the water. For 2 reasons. 1, get rid of the starch, and 2, keep the potato from oxidizing and turning brown when it just hits the open air. Do I see the level of the water rising significantly? Obviously, this is 1 potato. I'll do the whole thing. I might not use it all, but I'm making 1 portion. I want to make sure I have enough potato for the hash brown.
Don't peel yourself.
No, so close. All right, good enough. Let me clean my hand. We'll let this soak and we'll carry on. That is my beef. I'm using short rib because I'm thinking I'm gonna love the flavor. I've cut these into these little cubes and I put it in my freezer on this little piece of pork.
Okay, you're making 1 portion. Short rib's probably the best for that. I don't know. I'd still tack something else on. Maybe a little more fat.
For about 20 minutes to freeze it up a little bit. You can see it's a little bit hard. It will just grind better in the processor. If you put it in room temp or even just straight out of the fridge, it's gonna get mushy and we don't want that. Cut it into little cubes like this, give it 20 minutes or so in the freezer, and then you can process it successfully. And that we will do now. I'm gonna do about half at a time. So we'll start it and then we'll drop the pieces in. Stop. Have a look. What's that look like to you?
Ground beef.
There you go, ground beef without a
Yep, I've done this many a time.
grinder. But again, you can't do too much at a time. Take your time with it, little by little. Looks pretty.
Actually, trust me, I've done all of it, and it comes out fine in the end.
Perfect to me, doesn't it? And you saw the pieces had a bunch of fat on them. You like a 20, 15% fat to lean ratio. So just take it out, do the other half.
Well, yeah, okay.
Okay, so maybe I've got too much here, and that's all right. This was about 12 ounces. I want a nice sized patty. So if I imagine this might be 8 ounces for what I'm gonna do. I want it fairly close to the size of
Just get a goddamn fucking scale.
my hash brown, which is gonna be like that big. So let me see if I spread this guy out, how it's gonna look. I'm loving this. A little bit more here. Oh, we're making one fabulous effing slinger. All right, set this off to the side. Let's get our hash brown started because it'll take the longest. Little pan.
So we waste nearly half the short rib. That seems stupid.
On the heat. Now I'm gonna add a couple things. Could add oil and butter, but I'm gonna add bacon grease and butter. Because why not? Because I have it left over. Because I put it in this from something I made the other day. It's only gonna add more flavor and it's not gonna be a bad thing. And now some butter. And you want like a decent amount of fat in this pan. It's really gonna help make the hash brown, well, frankly, brown and beautiful. So when it looks like that, take your potato. I squeezed as much water out as I could. I rolled it in a towel, and now there it is. You see how lovely white it is? That's because I put it in the water right as I was shredding. And now when we go, you want to keep the pieces kind of fluffy. That'll make for a better hashi. A little bit more. Okay. Gentle pressure. Don't have to slam it flat. Now we're just going to leave this. It's probably 6-7 minutes, and then we'll think about turning it. Till then, just stay comfortable. So we're starting to look good in the bottom. We want a little peek. See that? It's beautiful. That's the way I like it. We haven't pushed it down. All we want to do now is get it ready to flip. So I'm going to do two things. Give it a little drizzle of oil, tiny bit, a little bit around the edge. There we go. And now I'm going to season this because we haven't yet. So this is just a little combination of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. And we'll just do a little bit of this because why wouldn't we? Now we can flip. So do I trust myself right here, Max? Ready? Beautiful. That's one happy looking little hash brown, isn't it? God, I love that. It's beautiful. Beauty. So that's probably, you know, another 5 minutes on that other side. Be the perfect time to cook us our big old patty. All right, here's our guy. What we haven't done yet though is season him. So we'll do that with our BFF. We'll oil here. We'll spread this. Then we'll take our happy fellow and on we go. And that will look like that. Beautiful. You can have a little more seasoning on the top. And now, if it wasn't obvious, we're just cooking a patty. But here's the thing to know. Number one, Brain didn't specify what kind of patty or number of patties. The reading I did said, oh, sometimes it's beef, sometimes it's sausage, sometimes it's one, sometimes it's a couple. It's all kind of up to your own interpretation. We're gonna go with one big ass one because it's gonna go with our beautiful big ass hash brown.
Yeah, Brain.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, Brain. And that is our chili. Store-bought. Looking pretty though. Feel free to make your own. But I figured if we're making our own hash brown, we're processing our own beef.
Honestly, I'd rather arrange store-bought hash brown slabs and then made the chili myself rather than wimp out on the chili.
To make a big ass patty, we're cooking eggs.
Or buy frozen hash browns or something. I don't know.
Felt okay. Shortcutting with the store-bought chili. We'll let this warm. That's gonna be ready to flip in a sec. Everything's coming along nicely. Then we'll take this guy off, throw some foil on him,
Then again, I'm someone to complain because normally I take a shortcuts if I'm pissed off or something.
Cook a couple eggs. Bob's your uncle. When you guys ready to flip, little zip of oil, and over she goes. Or he. Lovely. Lovely. Hash brown's ready. This guy's ready. Off we come. We cook our eggs. So to cook our eggs, yeah, I could use butter, but remember the bacon grease? I'm not sure why I wouldn't be using it. I mean, it's right here and waiting for me. It's hot. Oh, it's very hot. Holy crap. And in we go. You know, you always got to season. Well, let me take that back. You know, I've always got to season. Eggs are delicious, but they're also bland unless they get seasoned properly. And I want these.
Oh, God, this is a mistake that a lot of chefs make. Do not season your eggs until they're damn near done.
Kids sunny side up. So cook them till they're there, then we build. All right, I say we go for it. And here we go. We have our landing spot. We have our perfect hash brizzle. Oh, it's gorgeous. We've got that short rib patty, or as they say, short rib patty. And now our eggs. We have one, we have two. Gorgeous. I'm just gonna turn it a bit because I want to go like that with my chili, like this. Two things and only two things. Just scatter a little finely diced yellow onion and a little cheese, a little sharp cheddar for the win, right on top of the chili. And you know when I said only two things, I meant three, because that's all that you need. That's a beautiful plate. Well, it's about as beautiful as
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
it could get. The only thing left to do, you know what that is, apart from a bite, it's called the money shot. You ready? We go like this. Boom. Wait for it. Boom. And it's a slow free fall. Oh, slow motion egg yolk a running.
Oh, he
Hi,
cooked
pretty.
the egg right.
Towards the edge. Will it go off the edge? That's the question. No. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, it's bite time, and I'm coming right in here. Hash brown, short rib, egg, chili, cheese, onion. So, not a big bite.
All right, I don't care what he has to say about that. All right, that's the show for tonight. Good night, everybody.